drawing 3. So there are things that you will need in order to set up your flowers. So here are a group of things that I want to show you that you can use for various flowers that you might have. Let's go through all of these and I'll explain to you how they can be used. We have oasis, we have a little vase, we have a floral tube, we have a water tube, we have floral wire, we have floral tape, we have a frog, and we have ribbon. This first item that I want you to be aware of is called oasis. The thing about oasis is that it is a floral foam, and you need to submerge this in water, and then you can put spikes or stems of flowers or branches or leaves into this and make an arrangement out of it, or you can get your flower to hold in whatever position you would like it to hold in. The trick about using oasis is that you must fill a pan with water or your whatever dish you're going to use to hold the oasis, and you need to let it soak. Initially it will float, and once it has absorbed enough water, it will sink under the water, and then you know that the oasis is ready for use. If you do not allow this oasis to fully saturate, what will happen is that the outside of the oasis will be moist and the inside will be dry. So when you put a stem of flower into it, what will happen is that the flower will go into the dry area and it will not be able to pick up any water in order to stay alive. So that is really critical with oasis. It's not a very expensive item. It comes in a big brick. This is about 1/3 of the size of the original brick, but it is a one-time usage. I recommend that you let it dry out before you throw it in the garbage. Another way that you can get your plant to stay in place is by using a frog. Now, frogs come in different sizes. They come in different shapes. Some of them are very artistic, especially some of the older ones. But if you took a stem and you put it in here, and then you put this whole thing in a little dish of water, this also will help the flower to stay in position, and it will make it easy for you to draw. Just remember that you need to put the frog in water, not just sitting on the counter. This next item that I have is helping hands. You're probably familiar with it from drawing 2. This can be used for holding flowers as well, but the stems on the flowers need to be very firm. You cannot put a soft stem flower like a tulip into the helping hands because these clamps are very tight and they will squeeze the stem so that it can't take up moisture. If you have something dry like this, or you have a twiggy type of flower like apple blossoms, you can use the helping hands. If you're going to use the helping hands with a live flower or a live specimen, the other thing that you need for this particular technique is a floral tube, and this is a tube that holds water. You can probably pick one up at a florist, or if you ever get orchids as a gift, they usually come with this. You want to fill this with water and then put this on top, this cap. There's an opening at the top and you can slide the stem in, and that will keep the flower alive while you are using your helping hands. So this is a floral support. It's just a piece of plastic. You could also use a straw if your stem is narrow enough. You usually see these on Gabira flowers, and basically what they do is they help to support the flower because some flowers have a tendency to lay down on you. These tubes are very helpful. The other thing that's very helpful is floral wire. This stuff comes different gauges. This one happens to be very flexible. And basically what you would do with this is you would just wrap it around the stem of your flower, and then you can bend that stem in any direction that you want, and the floral wire will help it to stay in place. This next item is called floral tape. I use it in conjunction with the oasis because once the oasis is in a dish, you want the floral tape to be able to hold the dish in place. You can also use this to hold a flower against something. These are all tools that are actually used by florists, but they come in very handy for botanical illustrators as well. The last thing I want to show, a little narrow vase like this, and just put your flower stem in that. You do need a narrow neck, you know, and probably a narrow body on the vase, because if it's a wide body, the stem will tend to pivot around the neck and you won't have quite as much control. So that's pretty much it, except that I also have floral ribbon, and I will explain that when I talk about our lesson.